Well, it's practically good morning. I am not going to discuss the site. We've heard it, all sorts of things. What I would like to discuss with you people is reasonableness. I tried to teach my son to say, is this answer reasonable? One time I had to go head-to-head with his math teacher. The problem was about carpeting, and they were busy teaching them guesstimation, and they wanted them, if it's under 0.5, he should round down. And the answer ended up, I don't know, it was 40.4. And so they said the answer should be 40, and he said the answer should be 41. And my son said, wouldn't it be better to have too much carpet than not enough? This was in 5th grade. The answer they wanted didn't pass the reasonableness test. These guys have said, oh, there'll be 25 minutes between each truck, but the gal who was just up here pointed out, plain arithmetic. I know I'm old. I learned my arithmetic the old-fashioned way. I memorized times tables. I was taught to do the math. Why you would continue to deal with anybody who could blatantly lie to you and then close your eyes to it doesn't make sense to me. Because even if you do it on a 24-hour basis, in which case the floors never do get clean, it would be every 19 minutes. So it's still not the 25 minutes they're talking about. My universe says 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 4. Their numbers, whatever universe they're living in, it's not real. Those numbers are lying, therefore you have been lied to, therefore we have been lied to. You don't deal with people who lie to you. You let the nose of the camel into the tent, you end up with the camel in the tent, and you don't want that. There's not one of you here who's not smart enough to think for yourselves. Ask yourselves every time something comes up, is this reasonable? We shouldn't have been here. And this should not have gone past the first month worth of round. Because the minute they backed up and said, oh no, well we don't really want that, we want what you're saying, and they changed and they backed up from where they stood to give us what we think we want so they can do what they want, ultimately gives them the path to simply get what they want later on, because then they're going to change it. Well, it already can't even be a partial day. It's got to be a 24-hour day. It doesn't work. The numbers don't work. That's simple arithmetic. It's not even high-level math. I mean, there's something called an imaginary number. It's -1. The square root of -1 is an imaginary number. I don't deal in imaginary numbers. You shouldn't be dealing in imaginary numbers, people. This was too easy to look at with a hand calculator in 10 seconds flat and say, the numbers don't gee up. And you guys have been doing, I represent me. I'm a 26-year resident. I have never missed an election, guys. And you have been doing a world-class job. But I wouldn't keep this one on your resume. This one really, it not just fell through the cracks. Every one of you knows enough arithmetic to have avoided this whole evening. And for that, I'm disappointed. And I was disappointed.
Make sure you look that way.
I was disappointed enough to stick it out, to come and say so. Every one of you, get out a pencil and paper. 24 times 60 divided by whatever the number of cups they think.
And we thank you.
And it doesn't come up with a real number. Have a good evening.
We thank you for coming out and staying. We really do. Stephen Ostra? Got a fan club.
I brought them with me. They have to get home, too. Good evening, Mayor Wishner and Commissioners. Unlike some of the other people, I have a hard time congratulating you for doing what I term coming to your senses on this matter. How it got that far is beyond me. You need to sometimes remind yourselves that the things that you should be doing are for the best interest of the citizens of this city. And I don't know what was going through your heads when all this started a year and a half ago, but it wasn't in our best interest. We should be always thinking, how does it benefit the current residents, the future residents, the sustainability of the city, and if there's a master plan, share it with us. So many of the aspects of this just stink of things going on behind closed doors that would have been snuck in had it not been snagged by not fitting into the zoning. You had your lawyers the residents, half of your commission that said not to do it, and yet you proceeded. In fact, it probably would have proceeded still if it wasn't that many, many people found out about it and got involved. It's not that we need to sit around and be your watchdogs. This seems like I'm a parent. I've got 4 children. I'm the PTA president over at the high school. I see a lot of things. I've taught my kids not to put your hand on the hot stove and not to take cookies out of the cookie jar. You got caught taking the cookies out of the cookie jar. We don't want to have to be watching over you for this. We vote. We'll remember this. Please be on better behavior. Thank you.
All right, we're in the home stretch.
My name is Mohammed Suleiman, and I'm not going to say anything that everybody already said. What I really would like to say is thank you for the opportunity. The kids have left, but to show them how this democratic system works. They actually saw us come out, voice our opinion, and make a change happen. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir.
Good evening. I wanted to make sure everyone who wanted to talk got a chance to talk. My name is unwashed, and coincidentally, I am an attorney, like half the people you've heard from, but that's not why I'm here. I do have 2 kids, live in the city of Sunrise, go to that Islamic school over there, which is a normal full-time school. It has the same curriculum as every other school in Broward County. And I invite you all to come by and see it and learn a little bit more about that community. I would say the same to everybody here. Everyone thinks that community is a little isolationist. I think it may be sometimes thought of as mutual, so I'd invite everyone to come out. I think that you've heard a lot today, and while I know it's not officially on for that today, I think that there should be at least some type of a symbolic vote today of what you plan to do, because folks did come out here and they spent a number of hours preparing to come here today and doing a lot of civic engagement. And I'll say this has been the best civics lesson we could ever teach our kids today. We had a Civics Day scheduled for tomorrow, and we canceled it, and we had them come, and they stayed out late, which is why they didn't have homework, by the way. Okay. And this has been
just checking.
This has been the greatest exercise of democracy that I think that they could ever see. So I want to thank you all for serving the public the way you are. Each and every one of you, even though you have maybe different views and perspectives on this issue, I want to thank you for that and for allowing this debate to happen in front of these kids. I do think that, at least symbolically, you should have a vote today and let folks go home with some sense of resolution for this issue. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Sir?
Take no action. It was noticed for discussion. But you can make a motion not to proceed with this.
Okay.
All right, so I'll take a motion by Commissioner Liu, seconded by Commissioner Scudo. Commissioner Scudo.
Well, I want to make it that this gets, or whatever, if we have to make a secondary motion, that this gets put on for the charter review, that this would be one of the main topics, because I'd say that for the reason that some of the things that come forth from the charter review were not from the people, they were from the individual. And I think this item has come from the people and has not come from an individual.
Clerk, call the roll on you have the resolution. Am I correct? No. I'm sorry? If you vote in favor, you're voting in favor of not moving forward with this project, as well as directing the city attorney to draft the legislation necessary to hear it during our charter workshop. Okay. All right. Call the roll.
Deputy Mayor Rosen?
Yes.
Commissioner Scudo?
Yes.
Commissioner Sofield?
Yes.
Assistant Deputy Mayor Liu? Yes. Mayor Wishner?
Yes. Item passes 5-0. All right.